Sushil Kumar has won the silver today. But which is the Indian sports person that became a sensation in these Olympics?
Mary Kom.
Any other guesses? Thank you. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and your guest. Like every other Indian, it was a proud moment for me when I got this news on 4th of August. Here is a 21-year-old girl who got us a gold medal in Commonwealth Games 2 years ago. And now, she brings glory to every Indian in the form of bronze in the most prestigious Olympic Games. I was reading a little bit more about Saina Nehwal, and I came across a very interesting article, which was written by her in India Today magazine soon after she won the gold in Commonwealth Games. She writes, quote, "I was shocked to hear from my parents that my grandmother did not come and see my face after my birth for 1 month, just because she wanted a grandson, not a granddaughter." I was surprised. At the same time, it took me back to my memory lane, and I thought I'll share that with you today. It was May 2000. We were expecting our first child. My mother had come down from India to be with us during those days. One day, my mother told us how desperate she is to hold her first grandson in her arms. By that time, my elder brother already had 2 daughters. So this time she was craving to have a grandson. One day we were returning from hospital after a routine checkup. And I noticed that my wife is tensed. I asked her, what's the problem? She didn't say anything, probably because my mother was sitting behind the car. So I used to keep a small notepad in my car. I told her, okay, write what doctor said and give it to me. Friends, this is the note she wrote that day. I have preserved it for the last 12.5 years. This note says, doctor is telling her, she asked me, you want to know he or she? I said yes. She said, no, it's your first baby, let it be a surprise. I insisted, she said, shy baby. But I'm not 100% confirmed, so don't start buying pink. It was clear that we are going to get a baby girl. At one hand, we were excited for our first child, but on the other hand, we knew that my mother is going to be a bit disappointed. We didn't tell her anything. On 24th May 2000, at the stroke of 12:30 midnight, we were blessed with a cute little princess. We were on the cloud 9 with the excitement. And at the same time, I realized I have to get my mother inside to have a meeting with my daughter. Just when we both were having butterflies in our stomach and with a lot of apprehension, I got my mother inside, and when we were thinking it is not going to be so warm meeting between baby and grandmother, we were thrilled to see the unexpected. As soon as my mother saw the baby and the new face of her own blood, she hugged the baby. And we all had a huge sigh of relief, and the rest is the history. Friends, it has been such a pleasure and joy journey having a girl in the family that I cannot thank God enough. My experience says that the girls are much more sensitive, loving, and compassionate towards the parents than the boys. I remember once she was insisting on some new type of chocolate, and we bought her that. After coming home, I was reading the ingredients, and I found out that it contains something which we don't eat. So I told her and threw the chocolate. In the morning, when I was going to get ready for my office, I find this note on my dressing table. And it reads, I put 15 dirham in your drawer in coins because we wasted it by buying a beef chocolate. From Pari to Papa and Mommy. I felt like crying that day. Also, another incident which is also interesting and makes me laugh even today. is when I came back from my office in the evening, I see this note stuck on the wall just before the doorbell. And it was meant for the building friends who used to bother her a lot. She writes, if it is Vishu's friend, my son, he is sleeping. And I don't know when he will get up. If it is my friend, I'm not coming today. There have been numerous incidents which have actually added life to our lives. And I have preserved them all in this souvenir file. Today, she is 12 years old. And she makes us proud of her accomplishments even today. She has been awarded the best student of the class for 3 consecutive years. And just last week, she was specially invited to perform a classical Indian dance in a function in LA. I'm sure those who have girls would have had similar kind of experiences and they would agree with me. So whenever I meet elderly people who come from slightly conservative background, my request and my message to them is, girl is nothing but a bliss in the family. Fortunate are those parents who have daughters in the family. Even in this 21st century, girls are considered burden on the parents in some parts of India. But the good news is, now we have some very effective NGOs who are working hard to counter that belief. So I would like to request everyone present here to actively participate and support these NGOs who are trying to make a difference in the society. And let's make this world slightly better. Thank you very much.
The best way to learn is through feedback. And today my speaker demonstrated to me while I was there evaluating that he is a person who is genuinely going to take feedback and incorporate it and try to do his best next time. And today he really demonstrated that. Let's give him a big round of applause. Usually when we talk about visual aids, the first thing that comes to your mind is you put up a PowerPoint slide with transitions and you go on speaking after making point after point. But today, Pradeep really taught me, at least in my 3 years journey, that if someone has to do this project, it has to be learned from Pradeep. Please give him another round of applause. Praveen, sorry. See, I got so much engrossed in your speech and the evaluation. Praveen, you really taught us that visual aids are not a substitute for your speech, but they are really aids. And your topic was to talk about loving the girl child, and you brought that out by showcasing Sania Nehwal, the first image that came in. And then you talked about something very good about Sania Nehwal, about her article in India Today, which said her grandmother was not happy when she was born. That is where you led me into the central theme, and you're going to talk about loving the girl child, which is very dear to my heart because I got 2 daughters and I am a strong professor of loving the girl child. And you reinforced it with a lot of research and using notes and tidbits and different props to really enhance your message by giving your own personal experience about your daughters. How many of you have retained all those lovely small things that Praveen has done? Those were the real treasures. You use those treasures to convey a very sensitive message. And I think if someone would be doing a speech, a demonstration speech of using visual aids to really enhance and drive home a message, today was the day, and today's speech was the speech. Praveen, really hats off to you. You are my role model in 2 things. One thing is learning from feedback. I have been a strong critic of Praveen. I have been telling him, Praveen, your speech lacks message. Your speech lacks everlasting value. When I walk out of the room, I don't remember your speech. I don't remember your name even. But henceforward, I'm going to really remember you and your message forever. How many of you agree to these 2 things? Please raise your hands. Come on. Please raise your hands. Let's be true to yourself. See, this is the effect you had. And you really met all the objectives. A few suggestions. It's very difficult here to use the PowerPoint, especially in this room. I know it's very difficult. If you stand this side, these people get eliminated. If you stand that side. So what I suggest is, I use this technique. What I do is, I cut the slides into 2 halves. And when my slide material is this set, this is blank, so I'm not competing with the slides. If you can use it either or, you will use stage space, use this, and you will not be competing with the slides. With this, all the best, and I hope to see you fantastic speeches in future. Thank you.
Thank you.